Close your eyes for a moment. Now imagine opening them to a sky that glows red like molten iron. The ground beneath you radiates such intense heat that rocks flow like rivers. Above you, impossibly large and close, hangs a moon so massive it fills half the sky, its surface still glowing from its own violent birth. This isn't science fiction. This is Earth, your Earth, 4.5 billion years ago. Welcome to the Primordial Era, the most extreme chapter in our planet's history. This is the story of how a cloud of dust became a living world. Our story begins with death. 6 billion years ago, a massive star explodes in a supernova, one of the most violent events in the universe. In those extreme conditions, new elements are forged: carbon, oxygen, silicon, iron, and blasted into space. This stellar debris drifts for millions of years, eventually joining a vast cloud of gas and dust floating in our corner of the Milky Way. It's cold, dark, and seemingly lifeless, just hydrogen, helium, and those precious heavy elements from dead stars. Then something disturbs the cloud, maybe a shock wave from another supernova. The cloud begins to collapse, and as it does, it spins faster and faster. It flattens into a disk, and at the center, pressure and temperature build until hydrogen atoms fuse together. A star ignites. Our sun is born. But most of the material is still orbiting in a vast disk around it. Hidden within that disk are the seeds of worlds. In the inner regions, where temperatures are scorching, only metals and rocky minerals can survive. Tiny grains begin sticking together. Pebbles become boulders. Boulders become mountain-sized rocks called planetesimals. Within a few million years, millions of these objects are orbiting the sun, colliding, merging, and shattering in a chaotic dance of creation and destruction. Gradually, a few survivors emerge. 4 rocky worlds begin to dominate the inner solar system: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. But the young Earth is nothing like the planet you know. The surface is completely molten, an ocean of liquid rock stretching across the entire planet. The temperature is over 1,000 degrees Celsius. Asteroids and planetesimals are still raining down, each impact adding more heat and keeping the surface molten. Deep inside, something crucial is happening. Heavy elements like iron and nickel sink toward the center, forming Earth's core. This creates the layered structure that will eventually drive plate tectonics and generate our magnetic field. But for now, Earth is simply trying to survive. Then, about 50 million years after Earth begins to form, something catastrophic happens. There's another planet forming nearby. Scientists call it Theia, about the size of Mars. The 2 planets' orbits are unstable, and eventually the inevitable happens. Theia slams into Earth at 40,000 kilometers per hour. The impact is beyond comprehension. Theia's core merges with Earth's core, but the outer layers of both worlds are vaporized and blasted into space, forming a glowing ring around Earth. The collision tilts Earth's axis, giving us our seasons, and speeds up our rotation. The day after impact is only 5 hours long. From that ring of debris, over the next few million years, gravity pulls the fragments together. The moon is born, not as a captured object, but as a piece of Earth that was violently torn away and reformed in orbit. Every time you look up at the moon, you're seeing a remnant of the most violent day in our planet's history. After the impact, Earth begins to recover. The magma ocean slowly cools, forming a thin crust. Volcanic gases pour out, creating Earth's first atmosphere, a toxic mixture of water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and methane. No oxygen yet. Water vapor accumulates. Comets and asteroids, many rich in water ice, continue to bombard the planet, delivering more water with each impact. Around 4.4 billion years ago, the surface finally cools below the boiling point of water, and it begins to rain. This isn't a gentle shower, it's a deluge that lasts for thousands, perhaps millions of years. Water hits the hot rock, flashes to steam, cools, and falls again, but gradually the surface cools enough for water to remain liquid. The first ocean forms. It's hot, almost hot enough to boil an egg. It's acidic, filled with dissolved minerals, but it's water, liquid water, covering much of the planet's surface. This changes everything. Water is the medium in which complex chemistry can flourish. Earth has taken its first step toward becoming a living world. But around 4 billion years ago, the late heavy bombardment begins, a renewed period of intense asteroid and comet impacts. Some impacts are devastating, boiling away regional oceans and melting portions of the crust. But Earth endures, and paradoxically, the bombardment helps by delivering even more water. By 3.8 billion years ago, the bombardment tapers off. Earth finally stabilizes. And somewhere in those primordial oceans, perhaps near hydrothermal vents, perhaps in shallow tide pools, chemistry becomes biology. By 3.8 billion years ago, life exists on Earth. Simple, single-celled organisms, but alive nonetheless. The primordial era ends. Earth transitions from a hellish ball of molten rock to a water world capable of nurturing life. So, what can we learn from this journey? First, Earth's habitability wasn't inevitable. It required a precise sequence of events, many incredibly violent. The moon-forming impact could have destroyed everything. The bombardment could have sterilized the planet permanently. Second, the timescales are almost incomprehensible. The primordial era lasted 700 million years, longer than the entire span from the first animals to today. And third, we're intimately connected to this story. The iron in your blood was forged in a supernova. The calcium in your bones was created in dying stars. The water in your body might contain molecules delivered by ancient comets. You are not separate from this cosmic history. You are a product of it. The primordial era was a time of unimaginable violence and chaos. Yet from that chaos emerged order. From fire came water. From a sterile rock came a living world. And eventually, from that living world came creatures capable of understanding their own origins. The next time you look up at the moon, remember it was born from violence. When you feel solid ground beneath your feet, remember it was once liquid rock. When you drink water, remember it survived a cosmic bombardment. Earth's primordial era is long past, but its legacy surrounds you and makes up every atom of your being. We are the planet, awakened and aware, telling its own story. And what a story it is.